Lizzie lay on her bed feeling things she had felt deep down come bubbling to the surface. The first thing she felt was the sensation of being diapered. She was in real diapers for the first time since she was potty trained at the age of 2. The diapers felt wonderful. She felt like her body was encased in love. She moved around just to hear them crinkle. Sucking on the pacifier was the second thing she felt. Her mother had given it to her right after putting her in diapers. Slowly she moved it in her tongue. True, she had sucked pacifiers before, but this one felt different. LT was special cause her mother gave it to her. Lizzie smiled her biggest smile. A few tears of joy fell down her face. She grabbed her stuffed bear off her bed and gave it a big hug. The main thing she felt was happy. She was a baby again. Lizzie slowly let the full reality seep in. School was out for the summer and Lizzie had no plans. Now she was a baby again and looking forward to every part of the next 3 months. Downstairs in the kitchen, Sandra was busy working. Dinner had to be made and she had work to do. First she made a bottle of formula. Then she realized what she forgot to buy at the market: no baby food. Grabbing the bottle of formula, Sandra headed back upstairs to feed the baby. Sandra got up to her daughter's room and stood in the doorway for a moment. What she saw melted her heart. There on her bed was Lizzie, clutching her teddy bear and smiling. Sandra knew that she was doing the right thing. She let out a quick sigh and entered the room. Lizzie opened her eyes and looked at her mother. Sandra sat on the bed and before Lizzie could say a word, removed the pacifier and replaced it with the bottle. Whatever Lizzie was gonna say did not leave her lips. Instead she sucked on the bottle and closed her eyes. The sucking of the bottle and the beating of her heart caused Lizzie to get very tired. Soon she drifted off to sleep. The last thing she remembered was her mother checking her diaper. Lizzie did not care at that moment cause she was fast asleep. Sandra watched her daughter sleep for a few minutes and then went back downstairs to work on When the Baby Wakes Up. She needed to get a few things of the attic, so she made the climb upstairs. It took a good half-hour of work, but soon everything would be ready. Sandra sat in her favorite chair and thought about the coming months. She had to admit, when Harriet had first suggested the idea to her, she had wondered if her friend has lost her mind. But looking at how happy Lizzie had been while she drank her bottle made Sandra feel better. This plan of hers could work. Lizzie seemed to relish the thought of being a baby and Sandra wanted her daughter to grow up. Maybe a summer as a baby would give her the time she needed to realize that you cannot always go back. Sandra sighed and started to think about what the summer held in store for both of them. The one thing that was certain was that things were never gonna be the same again. Upstairs, Lizzie slept to her heart's content. She was having a wonderful dream. In her dream she was a baby again. Sleeping in a crib and enjoying every minute of it. She saw through the bars of the crib as her mother puttered around in her nursery. "Does my baby like to watch mommy work?" her mother asked her. Lizzie found herself giggling at the question. The dream was very relaxing. Like floating on a cloud. However, it did not last long enough. All too soon Lizzie found herself waking up. She stretched and sat up in her bed, not a crib like she wanted but a bed. Lizzie sat there for a few minutes and wondered what to do. Part of her wanted to throw some clothes on and go find her mother. Part of her wanted to just lay down and sleep some more. Lizzie thought for a minute, then made her choice. She was not gonna get any more dressed but was gonna go find out what her mother was up to. Lizzie stood up and went to open the door. After leaving her room, Lizzie headed down to the living room and to find her mother. There mother sat in her favorite chair in deep thought. Lizzie coughed to get her mother's attention. "I see we are up from our nap," her mother said as a greeting. "Yep," Lizzie replied. "Well, what are you doing down here?" Sandra asked. "I came looking for you," came the answer. "Well, we have 2 problems then," Sandra stated. "Like I said, if you are gonna be a baby you must be one full time. That means you do not leave your room until somebody comes and gets you. I know you do not have a real crib, but you do not get out of bed until I get you up. Understood? Sandra explained. Yes, Lizzie answered. Also, babies do not walk, they crawl. So I want you to crawl everywhere. Got it, Sandra stated. Okay, Lizzie said. Now crawl over here. Sandra said. Lizzie dropped to all fours and crawled over to her mother. Sandra reached over and checked her daughter's diaper. Finding it still dry, she then motioned for Lizzie to come to the other side of the room. Lizzie looked over to where her mother was wanting her to go and was surprised to see a playpen set up. Lizzie crawled over to the playpen and was soon climbing in it. Once inside, Sandra spoke again. This is where I want you to stay while I make dinner. Lizzie just shook her head. Sandra left the room and came back with a bottle of juice. This should keep you till it is dinner time, Sandra said matter of fact. Lizzie grabbed the bottle and lay down in the playpen. Her only thought being that this just keeps getting better. Lizzie looked around the room as she sat in her playpen and smiled. This was starting out to be the best summer ever.